Hello, my fellow YouTubers. I really wasn't gonna, get on here and talk about anything because I see so many people talking about the political movements and things that are going on lately, and I really don't like to contribute too much to any kind of a political standpoint or views. But at this particular point, I just found that it was probably necessary to show a point of view that I have is different from most of them. I see the testimonials out there by Ted Nugent when he was talking to Mr. Pierce, and also when Ron Paul spoke with him, and when even when Alex Jones was even on his show to speak to him about gun control. If anybody who knows me and would research me and knows me about my past or what I do for a living and stuff like that knows that I am the most green hippie person that you could ever meet. I believe in live and let live, to leave everybody alone, each to themselves. The kind of belief system that everybody is exotic and individuals and beautiful, and that it is necessary for everybody to be that way and to blossom. That's what makes the world interesting, is that nobody is exactly alike. We're not an ant farm. We're not the Borg collective. We are a group of people that are individually different with individual ideas of what life should be. And if it doesn't infringe on anybody else's life or hurt anybody else, it should be allowed exactly to do that, or for a person to be that way. But even though I believe this way, and I'm such a hippie and a lover kind of a person, but it doesn't stop me from owning my own SKS in my closet with two 30-round clip magazines and 400 rounds of ammunition for it. Now, the reason that is not because I do believe that an SKS is a right of mine from the Second Amendment, which I do believe in the Second Amendment. Believe it or not, as a hippie, I do believe in the right to defend myself. I do believe that. But I have an SKS in my closet, not simply because I have the fear of the neighborhood burglar getting into my place or something like that and coming in to hurt me, because I'm a second-degree black belt in Kung Fu. That is not what it's about. I have all kinds of weapons here that are sitting around in my living room that if somebody was to be able to come through, I'd feel sorry for them, because I have all kinds of ways of purifying them. So I really don't need a gun to take care of business from the neighborhood burglar. The reason that it is there is for the simple reason that I believe that our own political system in our nation has been lately faltering and has been more in favor of big business and walking away from the American people. The reason that weapon is there is because I do believe that I have a right to defend myself against a tyrannical force that has a potential of taking over in this country. But at the same time of all of this, everything that I believe, or what I'm just stating right now, out of everything that I am saying, I do believe that gun that's in my closet is also not the answer. The answer isn't to go to war against each other simply because we're different from each other, or simply because we disagree. That is something for centuries that has not worked. It is not working now, it hasn't worked in the past, and it will not work in the future. There is a small group of people who instigate this all the time. It's not. We could be going into World War III right now, currently with China. Most people are not aware of such of a thing. They're just absolutely not aware of it. Because what we're finding out is more recently, since our little arguments or disagreements with Iran, which if most people would study up on that disagreement with Iran, they would find out that it has not a lot to do with any kind of enrichment of any kind of metal over there to create any kind of nuclear weapon. It is more about the same reasons why we're in Afghanistan or why we're in Iran, and the people who know the ideas behind that will know that it's not just for the reasons that is openly discussed in the mainstream media as well. So what it is there's starting to be some posturing between Russia, China, and Iran against us here in the U.S., which has got me concerned and several of us concerned. But at the same time, I do believe in no fear. That's what they want. They want us to fear. And I believe in no fear, because maybe that's my hippie way, my green way of coming out. But it's to me, That's exactly what they want you to do. All these scare tactics are there simply to put fear into you, to make you believe that you are helpless against this whole thing. But it's not true. You are part of the spirit, the great spirit consciousness, and you have a power out there. You have access just to the same amount of power and the ability of the universe as anybody else does. And that's the realization that most of us haven't come to. But in my Greenpeace way of thinking, is I really do not believe that that the entire government is right now corrupt. I do not believe that. I do believe that there are people all over, even within our military, that have heart, especially heart towards the American people, which they also represent. My challenge to the military, to these good people in the military who say they will not fire on U.S. citizens and they will not be a part of any laws that are passed that go against the U.S. citizens or causes them to have to go against any U.S. citizen. My challenge is to any generals who are asked to go to war on either China, Russia, it doesn't matter, China, Russia, Iran, the United States, any of you who go to war from this day forth should sit down at a table across from each other and talk about your differences before you pull a trigger or get anybody to pull a trigger for war here on out. Because obviously all the evidence being laid on the table that has been laid on the table recently has been showing us that a lot of this is orchestrated by a very small group of people. And even you should be questioning, why are you doing it? And talking to each other directly, skipping the political middleman, talking directly, saying what you believe that the enemy is doing and what they believe that their enemy, yourself, is also doing, or ourselves, or themselves. And we probably will come across that the whole reason we're there to begin with is something totally false that we don't even believe in. Who knows? But the thing is I believe that before any more bloodshed in this world ever happens, that you should talk to each other first. Come on. We're saying that we're human. We're saying that we're intelligent. We're saying to each other that our belief systems are important to us, that's for the greater good, that everything that you believe in or that you strive for is to protect some kind of greater good about this world, that maybe your belief system or whatever you got going on in your head is the system that is to bring the world to paradise. Well, I got news for you people. It ain't working. There's always going to be somebody in the world that is going to disagree with you. There's always going to be somebody in the world that is going to have a different belief system from you. There's always going to be somebody in the world that is going to be wanting to be more of an individual than you. And there's always going to be people out there that's going to want to hurt you, that you need to protect yourself against. These are things that we need to keep in mind. But at the same time, allow ourselves to grow and to be intellectuals and to gain knowledge and to be a part of something greater. But we can't do it by holding each other down and creating governments that are supposed to take care of us. It's our responsibility. It's our responsibility. We need to take the responsibility. We need, as individuals, need to stand up and understand that freedom is a responsibility. I want the freedom to be a person who lives in his own building out somewhere in the woods that is a part of nature, that is like maybe some kind of a hobbit little shire kind of cottage looking thing that is totally green and works well with the environment. Is it because I'm trying to prove to everybody else that they're hypocrites? No. It's because I want to live that way. Because I respect my planet and I want to do that for my planet. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with anybody else. It's me individually making my choice and my responsibility matter. Not about pointing it out to you at all. It's not my responsibility to point it out to you or to direct you to do it. But it's my responsibility, if I have the conscience, to follow it. And I'm going to do that. Regardless of what anybody else does or what they think. I'm just going to continue to do it. And but the thing is I will also protect myself. I agree with Ted Nugent. I hate to say it. I'm a green-loving, peace-loving, tree-hugging kind of person. But you know what? Ted Nugent is right. He's right. They have a right to protect themselves. They also have the right to hunt. They also have all those rights, but the right to hunt has nothing to do with the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is only there to protect you from your own government from taking over, from saying that you no longer have a say, it is us to take care of you. That's not correct. It's your responsibility. It is yours. And there's a lot of people in the government, or not in the government, excuse me, the military, that also have this understanding. I know they have this understanding. I believe that they should question. Hey, I know that you're not supposed to question orders. I know that when it comes to the military. I was in the military at one point. But there's one thing that goes above whatever club that you belong to and whether or not you're questioning the members of the club. When the club starts overruling basic needs of humanity, the club should be invalid and should be questioned always. Humanity is important. The rights that we should have as a humanity, God-given, Spirit-given, whatever it is, should be these basic rights. The freedom of speech, the freedom to worship Spirit in any way that you want to, the freedom to protect yourself against people who want to do harm on you. These are basic freedoms that should be there. And the two largest basic freedoms should never be taken away that has been questioned lately is the freedom to breathe your own air and the freedom to have water. These are things that we need to be looking at. And I'm not saying go to war or be a revolutionary. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the only reason why these few 1.1% of the world are getting away with this right now is because we're letting them. We are letting them do this. We need to stop letting them do this. And how do we do that? Don't participate. Total non-participation. Quit helping them. Like, for instance, the IRS and the Federal Reserve. I look at it as I'm a bank. If I pay taxes, I'm a bank. This person walks into the bank. This is the federal government, Federal Reserve, basically has made the United States government into trillion-dollar debt, trillions. And they said across from me at the table, am I going to give this as a bank? Am I going to give this America a loan? Of course not. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's heavily in debt. The funds have been misused, misappropriated. They have been used for self-gain in many, for instances, and a lot of criminal activities. I would look at this person and definitely deny him a loan because holy crap, are you kidding? I wouldn't give that person a loan. That person, the America that represents America, would not be given a loan because they are terrible money managers, horrible. So my taxes, they're not getting a dime from me anymore. They misappropriate my money. They don't. Why would I give somebody money that doesn't know how to handle it? And plus, they're using it against me anyway. They want to take away my rights. Why would I pay those individuals to not only mishandle my money, but also take away my rights? These are questions as American citizens you need to ask yourself. And I'm not saying for you to go shoot anybody. You shouldn't have to. But when it came down to it, I do believe you should protect yourself, just like the Shaolin. Just like Shaolin. That's what Shaolin's about. Shaolin was a little Force Temple warriors, and all they did was they protect themselves. They protected themselves. They didn't go out and conquer anybody. They weren't out to conquer anybody. They were there only to protect themselves. Now, what they do believe in is, like, for instance, like a rose. I can't remember which one of the prophets, the Chinese prophets had said something about how the rose is beautiful, but it only has thorns to protect itself for the ones who wish to prick it. Or pricks the ones who wish to pick the rose, excuse me. So it only protects themselves against things that wish to harm it directly. And that's the way you should be as well. But at the same time, no more protesting, no more posturing against each other. Force against force doesn't work. It's been proven. It's time to just don't participate in the fight anymore. Just don't. Walk away. Even you military people, walk away from the system. Let it collapse on its own. It's the best thing to do. And then we rebuild. It'll be hard. It is going to be hard. It's hard already. But we need to rebuild. And the system that we have right now is not working. We could be going to war soon against our Chinese, Iranian, and Russian friends. And I'm telling you, our Iranian, Russian, and Chinese friends, you are just like us. You're just the people, the peons, the people, the underlings. Do not be tricked into any beliefs of any propaganda that us as American citizens are totally your enemies just because we are different from you. We are your brothers and sisters of the planet Earth. It is time to look at each other as just people and stop these people at the top using us for their personal gains, destroying humanity for a few group of people who have an idea of what they believe the world should be like, of an idea that the rest of us should cater to them, with an idea that they can make all the rules and we have to just sit back and take it. It's time for us as one voice all over the world to stop looking at each other as different. We don't need a UFO invasion. For God's sakes, people, we don't need the UFOs landing in order for us to decide that we're one human race. We could do it right now. We could do it right now. We can make a decision to just stop this. To stop this. This is crazy. It's crazy to be a modern man and to say that we are men and to say that we're a species of intelligence and to do this. And to continually do it when we know, when we're looking directly at it, and we know there's something wrong. We know. But we want to bury our heads in the sand, ignore it's not there. To ignore it isn't wrong. We need to get over ourselves. Get over that. Get over whatever personal bias you might have to any specific religion, government party, or any specific feel-good, a good old boy group that you may have, and start thinking for yourselves and start deciding what is right and wrong, because you know it. You know what the basic instincts are, and a lot of times your belief systems that you have will contradict it, and so you'll go with the belief system over the truth that you may see. Now, right now, I'm trying to tell you right now, in this world right now, we are in a crisis mode. We are in a deep crisis mode, and the decisions that we make right now will direct how humanity is going to pan out in the next probably 200 or 300 years. It's your decision. It's your decision to either wake up or to stay asleep.